Hi, my name is Nonima Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Baloyi. I want us to talk about Baloyi because Baloyi is suspicious right now at this point. It's very suspicious. Why is he treating this case as if it's a personal mission? He's like a pastor that has been sent on a mission. Mm. A church took out a certain pastor, say, when you go there, you therefore, and collect. Yeah, he's acting like that, ne? Yes. So there's something very unusual about this case. Not just delays, not just the contradictions, but one man who has stayed locked in, locked in from the very beginning in 2020, the first man that we saw when the accused appeared in court on the 27th of October 2020. Who was the prosecutor there? George Baloyi. That was him. The beginning, Gesan. Same courtroom energy, same intensity, same presence. Almost like this case is personal to him. So today, we ask the question that nobody wants to ask. Is this still prosecution or has it become something else that we are not aware of? What's going on? In a case full of changing narratives, there is one constant. There is one constant. Advocate Baloyi. He's very constant. From the lower courts to the high courts, from 2020 to right now, 2026. He has been there leading, pushing, driving the state's version, and that kind of continuity, it can either mean control or over-attachment. Now the question is why? Why is Baloyi attached to this case like this? Why is he babysitting this case like this? I want to know. Baloyi has become the face of the Senzo Meyiwa case, guys. It's like this is a brand. It needed a face that is going to brand it and move and influence others to do right by it, buy it. What's going on? In most trials, prosecutors come and go. Different advocates, different strategies. Even lawyers have changed here. Lawyers have changed in this case, but not Baloyi. Judges have changed in this case, but not Baloyi. Even the people that were invited to come and testify. But here, when it comes to prosecution, it's been the same driver, and over time, something subtle happened. The case stops looking like the state versus the accused. It starts looking like Baloyi versus everyone. Let's talk about the red flags, not opinions, patterns, okay? Late disclosure battles, claims of ambush by the defense, introduction of evidence not fully shared, court rejection elements like confession attempts, and every time the same name is attached to Baloyi. Baloyi. Now, here is where the danger is. When you keep pushing a case forward, even when it's taking pressure, you stop adjusting and start defending the version you've already committed to. And we see that every day in that courtroom of Judge Rata. This is where it gets deep, because this is not just illegal anymore, it's psychological. When you've spent years on a case, you don't just represent it, you become it. Baloyi has made that case to become everything in him. It's every fiber in him. Every contradiction feels like a personal attack. Every objection feels... There was a time he was busy saying, I don't know why the defense keeps answering for the witness. We were like, when? Where? Because they were objecting, not answering. Every objection feels like resistance to him. Every delay, feels like sabotage when he says the other people are doing it. But when it's him, it must be okay and be accepted. And that's where danger enters the courtroom. That's where it enters the courtroom. Okay, let's not forget that there is also Judge Rata Mokgatleng. Judge Rata Mokgatleng is going to surprise us at the end. He will surprise us because he had his moments. He is annoying as F, but he has his moments. He has already pushed back on key issues. Evidence rejected. He does have those things like the recording, arguments challenge. He has those moments that you are like, okay, didn't expect that from you. Boundaries drawn. Yeah, we saw that last week when Ubaloy was so shocked and they said, you are not going to use confessions of this accused against accused number 3. Please stop. I disagree. Because in law, passion is not proof and persistence is not evidence. Now, here is where it flips. The defense doesn't need to fight harder. They just need to wait for Baloyi to do all of this and be done. Because when a prosecutor becomes over-invested, they start explaining too much, which is happening, reaching too far, which is happening, filling gaps instead of proving facts. Yes, it's happening already. And in court, that's where case collapses. Ubaloyi does not even see that he's collapsing his own case. So now we ask the real question, is it still about justice for Senzo Meyiwa, or has it become about defending a case that cannot be let go? Because the longer this continues, the clearer it becomes. This is no longer just a trial. It's a battle of control. And in battles like this, there's always a moment where control shifts. And the question becomes, why is Baloyi so emotionally invested, emotionally, psychologically, physically? Hey, but he's invested. Why is he invested like this? Why? We want to know. And that is, and when that moment comes of it, when control shifts, when that moment comes, it doesn't make noise. It makes history. And Ubaloyi is going to see his name on history books because he is making history. He is making history of something very dangerous. He is making history of legally dangerous territories. He is making, hey guys, he is busy. But one thing that I know for sure, no matter how he tries, there's going to be a comeback for this. There will be a comeback for these guys. Whatever comeback it will be, but there will be a comeback. I don't know when, I don't know what it will be, but there will be a comeback. He may look like he is winning. He may look like he is thriving. He may look like he's got this. But when the final blow by blow comes, he will say, he will say, Jehovah Antandi. You watch and learn. Things are going to happen. What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Let's talk in the comment section. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.